What is up, YouTubes? This is a video to help you learn how to pronounce this card. And once we do, we can learn a little bit more about this historic cook from Dominaria. The name of this card is Asmoranomardicadaistinaculdacar, or Asmor for short. I don't know if it's with a Z or an S, but point is, this is the craziest named card in Magic, and I keep seeing people struggle to pronounce it with no real help out there. So here is how I learned to say her name in 3 parts. It is quite phonetic, we just gotta work through them. So the first part, Asmorano, pretty simple. And then the middle part, this is the hardest one to say, I reckon, Mardicadaistina. And then the last, Culdacar. So yeah, the ending's pretty simple. Just give it a few tries, say it slow first, and then work through it. Asmorano, Mardicadaistina, Culdacar. You could say it in each section, and then you can rattle it off. Asmorano, Mardicadaistinaculdacar. Brilliant. Now for some lore on Asmor. She was a wizard and a great cook from Dominaria. You may have seen her New York Times best-selling cookbooks, the Underworld Cookbook, with its most notable recipes including sautéed beebles, barbecued throat wolf ribs, a personal favorite, and then gray ogre toes in a sweet black sauce, which I know doesn't sound great, but don't knock it till you try it. And then we have her second act, which some say is even better, the Underworld Cookbook, Volume 2, and it flew off the shelves as people dove into the 1001 Ways to Prepare Elf, but also the political drama it created with dishes meant to be cooked using, well, more politically relevant ingredients in them, like goblin princes or dwarven counselors. It's a spicy read, pun intended. Looking back now at the success Asmor's cookbooks have had, it's easy to forget how difficult things were for her when she was getting started. She once summoned a Lord of the Pit named Vincent for a duel. However, she ran out of stuff to feed it, so the demon was about to eat her, and she convinced Vincent to let her live, and in exchange, she would cook for him for 7 years and 7 nights. Vincent agreed, but said if he got bored of her meals that she'd be the next one. Despite the harsh condition of death staring her in the face every day in the kitchen, she came up with recipes that would make any Julie and Julia fan angry that this hasn't already been made into a movie as well. As she neared the end of her 7-year and 7-day agreement, Vincent asked her to stay on full-time as his cook, and with no fear of death. As compelling a benefit package as it was, she just wanted out, but she said she would leave her recipes with him so long as she could take copies of them back home to sell. She started with 20 copies of the cookbook, the Underworld Cookbook as we know it today, but they didn't sell well. Vincent bought one and a second for his mother because he is a caring and loving demon when you get to know him. But Asmor was so upset at the failure of her cookbook, she told her imps to incinerate the other copies, and then the imps decided to toss them into the overworld, because I guess that's the bin next to the incinerate and recycle bins, and just weren't paying close enough attention. But as fate would have it, this is the best thing that could have happened to Asmor, because her recipes, which focused on ogres and goblins and throat wolves, were found to be quite delicious to the people up there in the high courts. It was all the rage, as they say, but the rage went both ways, and those ogres and goblins and throat wolves being hunted as ingredients had a bone to pick with Asmor. So, to even everything out, she wrote a second cookbook focused on using the high court hunters as the ingredients instead. Now, the hunted could be the hunted or the hunter, and regardless, whoever won that stalking fest or came out ahead knew exactly where to go for the best recipes for their kill, and the rest, as they say, is history. Cards that help us capture highlights of Asmor's history can be found in Modern Horizons 2. We see some of Asmor's prime cooking years with Chef's Kiss, Discerning Taste, and her right-hand sous chef, Kitchen Imp. And for those that like the history of the game, you can go back to Magic's simpler times and see where Asmor has showed up in other flavor texts on Granite Gargoyle, Lightning Axe, and an uncard Sauté. So there you have it. Hopefully you now know how to say Asmoranomardicadaistinaculdacar, like all the other coolest kids out there. Hopefully you also know a bit more about her background and can be a bit more excited when you see her show up in another card or quoted in another flavor text, because you'll also know how to say her name. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, check out my Patreon. Check out Card Kingdom using my affiliate link in the description below. Just let them know I sent you if you want to pick up your own copy of Asmor for a commander deck, or her cookbook to also put in a commander deck. And if you just want some sweet clothes for cooking in the kitchen with, check out Into the AM. Got a link in the description as well. Save 10% off all your orders. No big deal. Take it easy, folks. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.